Alright, welcome guys. Welcome back to Techhnolyze. My name is Terminus and we are going to watch the next episode. Let's get right into it. I'm very curious as to what awaits us this episode and how our characters are gonna fare, if there's gonna be more dialogue this time around. And go check out the Patreon in general. Go check out the Discord, why not? Let's get into it. Anything you want, anything else. Talk to me. It's your guardian angel. Was that in the first episode? Curious that I didn't pick that up. This wasn't like a very prominent person in the intro. Like at least for showing that person, they probably are gonna play a role later. Oh yeah, and he's in the intro too, so okay, fair enough. That kind of like puts less credence into my theory that old men could still be a character, or middle-aged men could still be a character, despite not being in the intro. Because it feels very much like the side characters are in the intro after all. Oh, and we're picking up where we left off. She's very emotionless, very fearless as well. The fuck was that? Flashbang? Ooh, and we're going back to him. Yeah, we're picking right up there. Fortitude? No, forfeiture? Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't pick that up, I'm going back. Forfeiture... weird. I don't even know what that word is. How many bullets? Alright. Sage's bodyguards. Holy shit, what? Sorry. Don't retaliate for the Union's assassination attempt without a permission. Okay, the Union made an assassination attempt. Maybe that's that. And he's like the boss of whoever those guys are? Bro, I saw you die. She's fascinated by the glasses. She never seen glasses. Oh, and now we get a bigger picture, right? It's like some kind of like weird hall. Holy shit, I do apologize. Just trying to sit a little bit better, my leg is hurting. This is almost like surgical, right? The completely white room. I should have changed just like these legs. Alright, mechanical legs, right? Yeah. Does he express here that that he wishes she would not grow old, or? Techhnolyzed legs. So this is our title. drop, kind of. Techhnolyze. To turn into technology, right? But they have a shelf life, apparently. And everything turns into static. Alright, he breaks out into a rage. He's going for her. Somebody gonna stop her? Him? What did he cut off though? Section 18, alright, alright. You get more droplets of information here. I think I've seen you before. Or maybe not. Right, the woman's driving off. Any incidents involved regulations, okay. Game dog, so yeah, this is like a fight club kind of deal. But he's not part of their organization. But he has authority. And she is the doll. Punch the boss lady. Yeah, so there's a divide. And he's putting him out of his misery in that sense. Get the fuck out of here. And he has plans. Ooh, just Lucas from the surface. So they are underground. Okay. Ooh, and he's connected to those organo. Gabe. Onishi. Right. And those guys that attacked them were from that union. Possible future. Alright, so this is what we're dealing with. Our man gets dragged somewhere, holy shit. Yeah, they got plans with him. Or maybe he's dragging himself, that's possible too. Oh, what the gorgeous shot. Just in a puddle, like a reflection. The village of Gabe. Right. So this used to be like one of the origin villages. She's gonna be your guide. Oh, and we don't hear it. Okay. Oh no, we do. Yoshikazu. Will it bring misfortune? What are the consequences of you going down or coming down here? That's not an answer. And it's just one. Ooh, familiar setting. He dragged himself back. Oh, fuck, dude. The fact that he's still alive. I do wonder, this is very weird because it seems very much like they're on the surface, but we know he came from the surface, so it can't be. But why is it so lit up around here? The hell is this? Like, does it have anything to do with like being technolyzed? Salvation Union been very quiet. Attacking the sage. Is Ran the sage? Or was it him, like the old guy? Organo, the Organo. Alright. But they're an organization and they want some fun. Some spectacle. Might keep the morale of people up. Interesting colors, right? His suit, red and white. The sound. He is struggling. I mean, as you do. No split too. I do wonder where he is, like, in terms of location and whatnot, in relation to Ran and the rest. Alright, so they're gonna make a spectacle of the Salvation Union, who seems to be some kind of resistance group, maybe. Pure scientific methods. He talking to like the woman and the blonde woman, or Yeah, and this feels very down to earth, right? People just surviving everyday life. We do have markets, which is really cool. Gonna take the money and give him food. No, she's not gonna take the money. Gonna be hard to eat. I mean, you have one. Oh, please don't topple over and spill it. What are you doing? Is he walking away or is he going towards her? No, he's walking away. Where do we refuse the food? Ooh. Yeah, this character was in the intro. That makes sense.
今戦争やってもオルガノにメリットなんかね。奴らはオフィシャルになろうとしてるんだ。
Power play. The suits and the crappy baby gangs.
そこのお前さん。おい。んなとこ突っ立ってんじゃねえよ。
Aw, come on, dude. Ooh. Oh yeah. Phantom Hand. Yeah, just topple him over, man. What the fuck? Ooh, and there we have scientist. Is that a bone saw? That. Oh yeah, this is the lady. What the hell is going on in this anime? And what were you eating? Looked like some kind of like chicken or something and wine on the side. Alright, letting her hair out. She can talk. She's selling flowers, okay. Yeah, I would assume that there aren't all that many flowers out there. It's very hard to get a sense of location. I think that's deliberate though. Grenade. Bomb. What? Interesting. It's almost like he's in a dream state for half the time. Maybe due to all of the physical trauma. This guy looks almost like him. Yeah, it looks like him. Alright, somebody's getting shot. Yeah, that's the Salvation Union, right? The spectacle that we were talking about. Gang wars, kind of. Still not sure if like the her grandfather.
いいのかい？僕の分まで。
How old is she? That's also the question, right? Like, is she still a child, or are we talking like teenager? How long has she been in this fucking rotten world? Decaying world? Alright, and this is his plan for him, like, maybe this is how he gets the robot arm. Because that's her, right? The scientist who likes to experiment. Maybe he's getting technolyzed after all. I really like the CD. All the bleakness, it kind of drowns it back out. Love the guitar. In stereo. Amazing. The way it jumps from one ear to the other. Yeah. More dialogue. Glad that's the case. At the same time, it's very, like, it's passing me by very quickly, where I really have... Normally, I don't have an issue with that. Maybe I'm getting tired. I don't know. But some of these lines I need to reread. That being said, we're gonna just jump through it a little bit. Boom. Let's get it on the screen. Let's get it on the screen. Just gonna go through it, kind of pass by what happened here. The new characters and all that. He died. Obviously, we saw that in the last episode, and the same with like his arm being taken off. This room is very amazing, very interesting, right? With all the white. Insane how there's like so much whiteness going on there in the room, and it's certainly like it feels very clinical and very sanitary. And you do see the legs, and this is apparently you're calling that being technolyzed. And he's in contact with Old Man here, the sage, who is friends with Ran and this new surface dweller or whatever that is. A lot of the physical trauma is insane, right? With the blood running through like the cracks of the stone. And we go back to her blonde hair up, right? Gives you a very strict impression, but that is because she's working on the legs and technology and whatnot, so she's kind of like a scientist technology kind of person. Also apparently the same kind of like drinks that she had later on when she was eating. There's a very devious smile, and said that even through your technolyzed legs, you won't last forever. Even though your technolyzed legs won't last forever, right? They have a shelf life. And they're different legs, interestingly enough, so they're not modeled. It's maybe just like the models that you can get. I don't know. Or maybe they're specialized in what you need from them. And he's absolutely losing it. As you would. I mean, come on, dude. And he's going for her, but he's getting cut before... Like his leg is getting cut before he can even reach her. Her bodyguards are defending her. It's very interesting that he arrives there probably because he heard there's a commotion. And they have a little talk. They're like, what's happening here? And kind of, maybe they belong to the same organization, right? He's like the suit guy, right? With like the big gang, and these ones, they're the baby gangs, right? They're as mentioned later. He's definitely calling shots on many of these things. And we do have like that. You said you came down from the surface, and yes, it took 4 more days than I expected. So it takes days to go downstairs from the surface. What the hell, like, I mean, later we're looking, like, we do see, interestingly enough, we often focus on the ground and have very little skybox. Gabe, who is Gabe? And she can see into the future, right? It's so interesting. We have, like, we blur this out with this immense whiteness that is going on here, and we can't see if this is the sky or if this is just light from the ceiling, but how that would be so much light that it's insane, right? It's not even like doable. And we wouldn't have these scenes of darkness unless our main character is in a completely different space, maybe on the surface or whatever. Like, this is a town which had original settlers apparently, right? People had, what did I say? This village of Gabe is the land where people try to live on their own. People try to live on their own for the first time in Lucas. Lucas is the grander continent? I don't know. But most people from Gabe have gone to live in the city now. Right, is that the town downstairs or is it the city? I mentioned thing. Oh no. Right, we're going down to the town in order to use the railway to get to the city, right? And the city is where our boss is, right? Our Yakuza guy, our gang person, our MC, and all of these people. Thank you, kind sir. Yeah, this is so weird how we phase out the environment, right? We don't really know, is that the sky? Right? Because we came all the way down from the surface. Where's the surface? What is the surface? The surface heaven? Or is it just normal Earth and we're going down here from the surface because this is an underground thing? But how? Why is the sky so white when it's an underground thing? Or is it just an interpretation thing that we're just like, actually everything is dark and our eyes just got used to it, right? I don't know. I mean, it's very lit up for not surface. Also very interesting what that token is. I don't know, right? I have no clue, but it's some technological stuff. And we zoom back into like rich, right, with statue and butler and or assistant, right, lieutenant, whatever. Do they need to have a spectacle? The Salvation Union has been very quiet in the city recently. Never imagined they would attack the Sage, and they attacked the old guy, right? Sage said not to take revenge. We won't take revenge, not directly. We'll just give the fanatical believers a taste of reality. And the Salvation Union is fanatical believers, okay. Maybe they're anti-technology, right? Maybe they're like, right, machines, whatever is soulless and whatnot. A taste of reality, and the reality being we are in power. Organo. But it's interesting because organo sounds like organic, which is the opposite of what technology is. So I do wonder. And he is definitely technological, so there must be some other sense to that, right? I haven't had a spectacle in a long time. Red and white is never a good sign. If you wear red and white, that is never a good sign. I mean, not a lot to say about this with the struggle. We still use the tilted angles. We have very washed out colors. The sun is shining down. Bro is having difficulties even just existing. And we're having a lot of telephone calls here. It's going to be a small spectacle. It won't take long. Talking to the guy. I do still wonder why he rejected the soup, right? She went there and she's like, here you go, and he's just rejecting it. Pride. Does he want to die? That's also a possibility, right? And this seems to be like another gang, and it's not the Salvation thing. I think it's just one of the gangs, because this is how it feels, right? This is how they act. This is how they... What do I say here? Yeah, he wants to... This is a cool representation, right? He wants to catch his fall with his hand, and it feels like he's moving his hand. This is why it's being shown to us like that. But then he realizes in the last second there is no hand to actually catch yourself with, and then he falls to the ground. He just lost him. I don't know how the hell it happened, but you should have come to me before you ended up like that, right? So he's maybe fixing people up. And maybe they're gonna get somebody to actually pick him up, but we don't know. And this is our dog eating... Oh no, this is noodles, actually, I think. And maybe some peas or something. Yeah, okay, this is like a normal meal. It doesn't... Like, it looked like chicken bone, but I guess it's noodles. And there's weird things that we have in front of... like, it's almost like it's virtual reality, but is it? And no, it's not. Goldfish. And she lets her hair down to... We see later that she has a different outfit, maybe just to go by in the, like to walk in the city and not be recognized as somebody important. And she talks. She talks. She sells flowers. I don't know how old she is, really. I mean, no matter how old you are in this world, you have to get by somehow, right? And this is like a dream sequence. He's almost imagining, like he's imagining his old self looking back on him. I guess it's his old self, but that's what it feels like, right? His own, almost his spirit leaving him, maybe also. I don't know what it means. I really don't know what this scene represents. It's so weird. My grandfather must be an important person. Yeah. The blood smear on the wall. It feels so weird because it's like the only vivid color in most, like, out of most of these scenes. We do have that spectacle that we were talking about. I mean, there's not a lot to tell about, right? We're just flashing to it, and that's fine too. We don't need to see it piece by piece. It's not that interesting. People are being sadistic, having fun, killing other people, right? Making a spectacle out of it. That's all we need to know. Different factions and whatnot. The Salvation Union, which are fanatics, right? The gangs, which are kind of led by this dude in a suit. At least that's what I think. Maybe he's a politician, or maybe he's like some kind of leader that's not associated directly with the gangs, but he's leading them. Or maybe he's just part of like the big gang, which is calling the shots, which is also a possibility. And I think this woman that was kind of punishing our main character, she's actually probably part of the smaller gangs. And she has a very interesting way to interact with people. Right? He asks her questions and whatnot, and sometimes she's just not answering. She's just giving him, like, for example, that rice ball, and she's like, here, eat. Right? And that's her way of rejecting the question, being like, oh, ask me later, right? Or don't ask me about that, or I don't want to answer, or don't feel like it. And this is where the woman comes up. But this is such a sign of like his mental decay, that he's just so out of it that ants and everything is kind of crawling over him. And then we have the stilettos, the high heels, not the stilettos, the high heels, and a shadow looking down on him, and that's her. Ooh, I mean, it's low poly, but she looking fine. And she's looking down on him. What is her? I mean, she talked to the other guy, right? The boss man, and he was like, kind of. I feel like he was kind of suggesting, we got plans for this dude. Find him and experiment on him. At least that is what I'm getting from the dialogue. It's so heavy to, like, it's so hard to kind of get through that. It wouldn't be advantageous for the Organo if there's a war now, right? They're the peacekeepers. They're trying to make a power play. They're trying to become like the one calling all of the shots. Which is interesting because I do feel like either the Organos are like directly under the lieutenant guy I was saying earlier, right? Who talked to our boss man. And they're trying to make a power play and just getting ahead of all the other gangs, and being like the ones who are in the highest regard and have the most influence, or the Organos are actually led by the boss man, and they're making a power play for something bigger that we as the audience aren't aware of yet. Rejecting that. Don't know why. There's such a look of despair on him. Is there something wrong in there, or is that just him being like, I can't take like free charity from people? I don't want to do it. We have all these scientific symbols on her scene here with like the anatomy of people, which makes sense when she's able to put robot legs on you. Unfortunately, you can't make out what's written there, so there's no like it's not sensical in a way. Yeah, and this is like there's other train lines, but she's using this train line most often. I do not like I said it in the episode. It's very hard to get a feeling for where we are, right? I do know like the boss man and blonde lady here and our MC are all in the same region, right? The same city that seems very dark most of the time. Either it's night, obviously, or it's underground. At the same time, our sage, who is in contact with our boss man, our sage and Ran and what was Blood's name? Like the other guy, Yoshi Katsuo, Katsuho or Katsuo? Katsuo. I think the H is silent. Yoshi Katsuo. And Yoshi came from the surface, whatever the surface is. So is the I don't know. The surface, I do assume the surface is something we haven't seen yet. And I assume all of this is downstairs, whatever downstairs means, right? The surface, whatever, right? Like it doesn't feel like this is underground. Like the other scene with the MC and whatnot, that feels like it may be partially underground. But even that has daytime, so... Right. Where does the light come from? But it feels a lot like... I mean, this is feasible, okay? This is feasible. It feels Asimov for me. Asimov made... Like in the Robot series, he created this great thing where there's these mega cities, right? And these mega cities are just an amalgamation of billions of people together in like close quarters, living underground, right? All like completely away from the sunlight, with like, obviously, as such, you do have a lot of artificial lights and whatnot, and like they're just living underground in this city that is sheltering from the environment because we completely destroyed Earth and completely destroyed our environment and everything around it. So at this point we're a couple of generations in and people are even like they don't see the sun as often, and they're even afraid to actually see the sun because they rarely ever go outside. And because they hear the sun is dangerous, especially if you've been living with artificial light for most of your life. People being born in this city that is underground, highly technologized, and yeah, I don't know. It feels very much like that in some regard. In other regards, it doesn't. Right? In other regards, it feels almost lane-ish, right? In presentation and direction, makes sense too with our director. In other ways, it feels it's cyberpunk, but it's old school cyberpunk, right? Ghost in a Shell, that kind of stuff. Yeah. Very cool, very cool. I'm trying to parse out who is who, right? The organizations, everything that's going on, but it's really, really hard to do, so... yeah, that was Techhnolyze, episode 2. I hope you enjoyed it. There's not a discussion video this time around. I'm sorry. Just not enough material for me. I think we're like... 24 minutes into the discussion. I mean, yeah, I could probably separate this, but I think chances are most of you who are watching Techhnolyze probably want even the discussion more to see more the discussion than anything else. Even though the reaction it's probably also very cool if you are somebody who pays a lot of attention to just subtle facial expressions and reactions. Yeah, I think that's it for the discussion. I'll see you in 2 weeks for the next Techhnolyze. Check out Monster, check out my other series, Monogatari, whatever, coming up. Maybe ReZero. I don't know when that's gonna release, but right when that is actually gonna air. And I'll see you later.